I'm back. Rhodes for the Matrixx and Rhodes show. Let's talk about Netflix because they're having their employees, that is, their alphabet mob section of their employee roster is having an utter and complete meltdown to the point now that the words insurrection or the word insurrection is being used. Now, we know how lottie-dottie, hot and flotty that gets thrown around these days, don't we? Oh, my goodness. We can't call a bunch of riots burning shit in the street down an insurrection, but we can label all kinds of other bullshit insurrections, can't we? Well, let's get to this. This is Breitbart. Their woke employees are having a meltdown, and they have had meltdown ever since Dave Chappelle's special, The Closer. They never recovered from it. And then when Netflix come out and said, you know, if you don't like the direction, the course correction we're making back towards actual regular content that is not going to have an emphasis on being woke, and we're not going to worry about things like inclusionary content. That's not going to be our priority. Well, as you can imagine, insert crying meme SJW here. Netflix employee morale crisis reportedly only getting worse, with the streamer's tech workers in Silicon Valley feeling increasingly alienated from leadership, especially following the controversy over Dave Chappelle's comedy special, The Closer. Tech workers at Netflix corporate headquarters in Los Gatos, California, have accused executives of brushing off their growing concerns about the company, saying the culture of frank internal discourse has been replaced with something more rigid and traditionally corporate, according to a report from The Verge. Oh, cry me a river. You mean somebody came in and actually turned that place into a business environment? Say it isn't so. Say it isn't so. Guys, I managed for 12 years in the corporate world. I hear this line, something more traditionally corporate. Oh, so they done brought in a swinger and they're knocking your asses out. I love it. Quote, after Dave Chappelle, the lines of communication that had been open for years were gone. A former engineer who asked to remain anonymous reportedly said, at the heart of the dispute is the feeling among Netflix tech employees that their feedback about artistic or creative matters isn't valued or even wanted. That should tell you right there what side of the coin we're talking about. Artistic or creative matters, a.k.a. content that was making no money and nobody was watching but made us feel better. Engineers who complained about Chappelle's comedy special said that their criticisms, which consisted mostly of accusations of transphobia, were mostly ignored. One engineer claimed he was fired for trying to fix technical problems outside his scope of work. Quote, too much feedback, being out of my lane too often were reasons I was given. As a result, Netflix engineers feel the company has developed a schizoid personality. On one side is the Hollywood studio with more traditional corporate culture. On the other side is the Silicon Valley tech firm with its more relaxed atmosphere and culture of honest internal discourse. Some have blamed co-CEO Ted Sarandos, who runs Netflix creative side, saying Sarandos and his lieutenants were similarly resistant to feedback, particularly from Los Gatos staffers. Quote, today, as a manager, we can't speak up in content or studio teams, and what Ted says goes, one anonymous employee reportedly posted in an internal forum. Well, that's the way it works. That's the way it works in business. You have the leader. He gives the marching orders, and you fall in line, or you, for lack of a better way of putting it, get the hell out. That's the way actual business works. And they're going to want to make money. That's a thing. Quote, very top-down culture, and even when we raise the problems we see early in our shows, our voices are not heard. See, there we go. Netflix morale crisis comes as a left-wing streamer is struggling to retain subscribers. The company has lost an unprecedented 200,000 customers in the first quarter and predicted to lose as many as 2 million in the months ahead. Shares of Netflix have tumbled an astonishing 70% this year. The company has imposed new austerity measures, including layoffs that have seen 450 workers lose their jobs. Netflix has a production deal with former President Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, under which the couple produces documentaries and scripted content. Netflix never said that they were going to quit making content across all lines. What they just said was, look, we're not going to not make content for everybody, okay? And we are going to make content that has an emphasis on making us money again. Okay? The company went far too left-wing, far too woke, was bending the knee far too much to its alphabet mob employee sector, and in turn, they were given all these creative projects with the same thought process in mind, and nobody was watching the damn things. Nobody was watching the crap. Okay? And the fact is, for this streamer to make money, and some of their content was really twisted, kind of twisted, okay? And customers were saying, if you're going to do this kind of content, we're out. We're gone. Okay? Now, I'll be the first to say there is good content on Netflix. You know, they got Cobra Kai right now, which was a big get for them. The Ranch, really good, with Sam Elliott and Ashton Kutcher. But, you know, they went so far on one side, and then Dave Chappelle's specials, and it really started with Sticks and Stones, but it really went into overdrive with the closer. The woke employees lost their mind. Ted Sarandos took a step back and went, you know what? You know what Dave Chappelle does for us? He makes us a shit ton of money. You know what all this woke content doesn't do? It doesn't make us a dime because nobody wants to watch it. And it's reflecting in their financials, okay? And how far they went is reflected in their subscriber base. And now the woke employees that are used to being rocked and coddled like a bunch of little woke babies are losing their mind, because now, with a more money-driven mindset, they're getting a structure of corporate America put into place. I love it. I love it. As somebody that managed in the corporate world forever, and somebody that a lot of times was given teams to straighten the hell up and to run the efficiency numbers and the statistical data and the trends and to see what employees weren't doing what, and in turn, I showed their asses the damn door. This makes me smile. This makes me smile that they're having a unmitigated meltdown. Good. Hit the door. Don't let the door hit you in the ass. You can't get out quick enough. Welcome to how business is supposed to be run. Business is not supposed to run on your little feelings, okay? It's supposed to make money, all right? And that's the way that America was built, for crying out loud. These Netflix employees got coddled for far too long. It looks like that part is a wrap, and they're having a meltdown. They can't no longer... I mean, for lack of a better way of putting it, can you imagine the kind of conversations some of these employees were really having on the production floor or in their team rooms? I mean, I bet there were HR violations everywhere. I mean, can you imagine now they're not allowed to talk about this gross shit in the building, et cetera, et cetera. And you know what I'm talking about, you know. We're seeing it marching up and down the street in parades right now, right in front of children. Oh, my God. Tell me what you think. Matrixx and Rhodes Show fans, Netflix employees having a meltdown over their course correction. I, for one, love it. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.